Welcome to Beauty and the Gi, the podcast about jiu-jitsu and so much more. I'm Jen Eads. I almost said I was a white belt.
A judo white belt.
I feel like I'm white belt everything today. I am Jen Eads. I am a blue belt full of curiosity and so many questions about jiu-jitsu and all the jiu-jitsu things and maybe judo. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
About judo. No.
Got a few thoughts.
I'm AJ Klingerman, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and judo white belt. Obsessed with jiu-jitsu and feel okay about judo.
Okay, good. Welcome. If you are new to the podcast, I would love to know how you found us. So you can leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can hang out with us on Instagram if you're not already. We're at Beauty and the Gi Podcast. I'm also there at Brassy Broad Jen.
I'm AJ Klingerman everywhere you go.
And let us know how you ended up here.
Yeah.
And if you're new, we made a starter pack for you. The links to it are in the show notes with some of our favorite places to start, especially if you're new to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And what's on your mind today?
We're going to talk about open mats and whether you should go there or not if you are competing.
And this, wouldn't you just know it, was sent to us by one of our listener friends.
Yeah. One of our friends, Nicole, sent us a message. She likes going to open mats. Mm-hmm. Her coach kind of discourages it. So I think that's a good point first, is that her coach discourages but doesn't tell her not to. Mm-hmm. I think a coach that tells you you can't cross train is a super red flag.
So why is that? So if somebody's new to the podcast, maybe doesn't know why.
Or if you're new to jiu-jitsu, if you are in a place where they don't allow cross training, it's a red flag. It's a toxic thing. Typically they will tell you they don't want you to cross train because they don't want people seeing your jiu-jitsu or knowing the moves that they teach, as if there are any secrets in jiu-jitsu. But, that's what they'll tell you. I think the reality is it's that they're worried that you will find greener grass. Mm-hmm. So I think it is more a fear-based thing, whether they even know that in their own soul. Mm. Like they may not know that consciously, but typically I think if they don't allow cross-training, it's more fear-based.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I will say too, something that I've recognized fairly recently is that some people don't say you can't cross-train, but instead talk about how terrible everyone else is.
Oh.
And discourage you from cross-training, just from the standpoint of they all suck. So why would you want to go there?
Yeah.
So caution of that too, because I think you'll find there's good jiu-jitsu in a lot of places that you're told there isn't.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So why do you encourage us to go cross-train?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
I not only encourage you to cross-train in other gyms, but also in your own gym, right?
Yeah. True.
This is something we've actually been talking about a lot lately, is like trying to make it to a night class if you're a day person, or a day class if you're a night person, or train on the weekends or something, to get to really even cross-train in your own gym.
That's so true.
But yeah, I strongly encourage cross-training. I think, one, you get used to the people you train with. Mm-hmm. You know their moves. They know your moves. So cross-training really enables you to try out different stuff, or just try your own jiu-jitsu against people that don't already know it.
Yeah.
It definitely builds community. It makes friendships. I think it's a great opportunity. I think you should absolutely try to go to seminars and open mats and stuff like that and cross-train. Definitely.
That was one of the things I loved most about camp, since I did actually try to roll with more people this year, was just seeing everybody's different. Like there was no role that was the same.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Yeah. And you roll with Jennifer almost every class, which is great. You guys are main training partners, but you kind of get to know what each other's going
She's
for.
going to bow and arrow me every single chance she gets.
She's going to bow and arrow you. Tyler's going to head arm choke you. You know these things. They just become like, this is their game. But you go somewhere else and you're like, oh, this person doesn't know I'm going to try and do this to them. Or, Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. I think getting to cross train is really good. And even traveling, like whenever I travel, I try to stop in and train at a gym.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That just adds to the vacation, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it really expands friendships. Like you meet people from all over. One of my clients that has a school out in Wyoming, I think. But she's gone to some camps and now she's going to like England and she's basically couch surfing in England with friends she made at camps.
I just want to go to Wyoming.
Yeah, right.
A little Yellowstone. And yeah.
But like that's something that like jiu-jitsu gives you if you're willing to get out of just your four walls of a gym.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Jiu-jitsu is so cool.
It is. It's really cool. So one of the things that like Nicole was talking about, why her coach is telling her not to, is from a competition standpoint. So what are your thoughts on that? Like if you're going to compete against somebody that might be at the open mat?
I feel like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and at least for me, like that's not something that I worry about. Like if they see it, they see it.
Yeah.
Or their role with me may be so unmemorable that they don't even know.
Honestly, that's true too. Like
because if you do so many rounds at an open mat, I mean, my brain's mush after like 3.
Yeah.
I can't keep it all straight.
You're not going to remember who did what to you.
Yeah.
Unless it was just like a very like dominant thing that you're just like, oh, that was amazing. And like that one thing might stick out in your mind. But in general, I think that people don't typically remember. Also, there is some privilege there.
Right.
Honestly, like for us, we have a pretty good sized women's team, like specifically talking to the women. The guys have more opportunity to compete against other guys.
Yeah.
But our women oftentimes are competing against their own teammates.
Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah. Right. And like we can talk about the thoughts of that and everything. And we probably have touched on it at some point in these episodes, but that person knows your game. They know what you're going to go for. And you train with them all the time and you still compete against them. So somebody you rolled with once at an open mat. Yeah. Not that big of a deal to me. Also, if you're really good at your game, it doesn't matter if they know your game. Right. So some examples of that would be Rachel. Again, we're obsessed with Rachel. So we're going to
Rachel Casillas, if you're new to the podcast.
So if you know Rachel, she's probably going to triangle choke you. That's her game. She does, do some other stuff, but in general, we know that Rachel's game is triangle chokes. And a lot of people know that. And yet she still hits them in tournaments. Yeah. Hadra Gracie. Hadra's going to cross choke you. Everyone knows it's still going to happen. Yeah. So just because someone knows your game doesn't mean that you can't pull it off. So that's another thought too. Okay.
I like it. What other thoughts do you have on this? I feel like there's a lot of thoughts in your head today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like just in general and, taking some points from Nicole's question specifically. She did go with somebody in an open mat that then she competed against and the girl pulled guard on her because she had taken her down during the open mat. Yeah. And the thing about that is like pulling guard might just be her game plan. Yeah. She might have done that anyway. Or she could have seen tournament footage of you doing takedowns. And so she decided to pull guard. Or maybe somebody else saw her in the match before. Yeah. Whatever it is, like, I just don't think you should worry so much about people seeing your stuff. Yeah. And if you do, then when you go into the open mat, maybe you just do your B game. Yeah. Like you never go for your A game stuff if you're that concerned, right? Like if you're that concerned, don't play your game. Just play jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Get in some good rounds.
Have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, there is the flip side of that. If you wanted to, you could be scouting out your own competition. Right. Right. Yeah. Like if that's the way you want to go, you don't have to worry about them scouting you. You could be scouting them. Like you could take some notes afterwards. Probably like this girl's my size. This girl's my rank. Probably if we competed against each other, I want to remember that she cross choked me from inside her guard or, like whatever it is, like then you can prepare for that. But I think open mats and cross training are important from the community standpoint, from the friendship standpoint, and really from your jiu-jitsu growth standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it's huge for your growth. So I wouldn't not go because you might compete against somebody there.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Same.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go and have some fun.
Exactly.
I'm not really competing a lot these days right now either. So it's not really a concern for me. But someday when I get back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, just in general, who cares?
Right.
You know, like even as an active competitor, if they learn your game, that doesn't mean you can't pull it off.
Right. Just be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just make it happen.
Okay. There you have it, friends. Just make it happen.
Make it happen. Make your game happen.
On or off the mat. We're here for life advice too.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, not really.
Maybe.
Maybe. I think there are some things.
And be a part of the growth of women's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, really.
Yeah.
Go support open mats. Yeah.
Definitely. Because at the end of the day, the growth of women's jiu-jitsu, like for a lot of us, we can say jiu-jitsu has saved our lives.
Mm-hmm.
If not, at least strongly impacted it in a positive way.
It's made mine. Life was good, but it's just so much better and more expansive and full because of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And so be a part of that for other women. Go to open mats and help raise the tide, help build women's jiu-jitsu.
And you can also share the Beauty and the Gi podcast with them to help do that too.
Yeah. I mean, really, like there aren't a lot of women's jiu-jitsu podcasts. And I mean, obviously we have lots of guy listeners too. We love our guys.
Yes.
I think in the beginning, it was like their dirty little secret that they were listening to us. And now they're just like, yeah, we listen to you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's good advice no matter if you're a man or a woman. But obviously women have the smallest grouping in the sport still. We're still the minority there. And so help build that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, friends, you can find us because we would love to hear from you. So if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're on Instagram or TikTok, well, on Instagram, we're Beauty and the Gi podcast. I'm hanging out there at Brassy Broad Jen, also on TikTok at Brassy Broad Jen.
I'm AJ Klingerman everywhere you go. And, you know, like I started to say and kind of stopped myself for some reason, but share the episode. You know, share this one, share others, help us reach more people and build the community of jiu-jitsu in general.
And if you like what you hear and feel like leaving us a little 5-star review in Spotify or in Apple, we really do appreciate that. And we do read them and we read your messages and we just love to hear from you. And if you are listening in Spotify, you can actually answer a question there. We want to know, are you going to go to an open mat if you know that there's somebody there that you might compete against? We want to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in and we will see you on the mat.
Wait, it's yep.
What?
Brought to you by.
Oh, thank you.
Production of.
That's my line. Thank you. Beauty and the Gi is a production of the Brassy Broadcasting Company.
And brought to you by Role Model Grappling.